Okay, so this is around like the second time I've made this cookie dough. The first time I made it, I think it turned out fine. I already did a video about it, but like the royal icing wasn't royal icing. No egg whites were used, no meringue powder. I think it was just regular like type of glaze icing, so it was very droopy and liquidy. But thankfully, we do have some sort of form of royal icing in this place. In the recipe, it's not supposed to be like sticky or I guess soft as it is now, so I did have to add a little bit more flour as time went on. I don't know if that necessarily affected the cookie, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we are going to be making kind of summer themed cookies. So here you can see that it's kind of in the shape of an ice cream cone, kind of. And for me, the recipe says to chill the dough and then roll it out, but I decided to not chill the dough and roll it out, cut it out, then chill the dough afterwards, so then it's easier for me to cut like this. But the next time I make it, so by God's grace later this week, I might actually try rolling it out while it's chilled, because I know that helps a lot. So I did two different shapes. I did an ice cream cone, then I did a circle one, and I did one like popsicle type shape, but that's about it. I was gonna try to do like some different designs on the circle ones than this. Later on, I did change what exactly it was going to be. Okay, so it is the next day, and I'm currently preheating the oven to the temperature that's supposed to be at, which is the regular 350. And I left them like overnight, kind of, so it's kind of frozen-ish right now, but it's been in the fridge for a little bit. So I'm just gonna bake them today, then decorate them tomorrow, maybe, by God's grace, because the food coloring that I wanted to use, it didn't come until tonight, and I don't really want to do anything tonight anymore. So yeah, but we are going to be making some scones. Maybe we'll see in a future video. So they're currently kind of like thin for some of them because it was kind of uneven rolling. There's the oven. But like I'm hoping, because like last time they did kind of rise a little, I think. So hopefully it's not like very still thin, that there's still like a good balance between the royal icing and then the cookie itself, because for some people theirs are thicker, so it's like a good thin amount of icing. But like for some of the designs I want to do, there might be some like overlaid things, so that might make there be more royal icing. I mean, there probably wouldn't be a thicker amount, but just too much for that small amount of a cookie. Going into the oven. Okay, so they did actually rise, which is good. Not like obviously a whole bunch, because you don't want it to be a whole bunch with sugar cookies like this, but they are a little bit taller, so hopefully it's not like too dry or anything. I didn't make any ones to actually taste test, but I mean, I'm gonna eat it anyways, and I'm not selling these, but this is just a good way to see what we can do with it. Okay, so these are actually kind of cracked, or not, they're not cracked. I think they were already like this, some of them, but whatever. Same thing here, some of them have dents that were already there, I think. But anyways, because I didn't have like a huge like place to roll out my dough, some of them are a little bit more thinner or thicker than the other ones, but next time I know what to do. Here I'm currently packing them away because I will be decorating them the next day. So yeah. Okay, so it's currently the next day and we're getting ready to make the royal icing. I watched, like, replayed so much Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, Ashley's royal icing videos, Mimi's Baked Goods, Mimi's royal icing video, and even after this video, I'm still watching it again and again, because it's just like you gotta make sure you got the right consistency or else it's all gonna get ruined. So I think I added about 2 cups at the beginning. Then I saw that I needed a little bit more, so I added the regular amount the recipe called for. I went off a recipe just because I didn't know exactly the right like consistency. I know that Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, she does like 1 cup of powdered sugar, then 1 tablespoon of meringue powder. And the recipe that I used did a little half, just like a half less. So anyways, besides that, I was just like taking a long time getting this consistency. And whenever I'm trying new things like this, where I also have to be doing a bunch of different transfers, like piping bags and bowls to like, mix up the food coloring with it, it can get really messy, as you are going to see later in the video. So I thought this was the right consistency, but it wasn't, because I did actually have to shake this for quite a while to actually kind of get it smooth, and I thought that that was still fine, because as you can see, it's kind of thick, really thick. And so for Mimi, hers, she does have like meringue powder and powdered sugar and all the extra stuff, but then she also adds corn syrup to hers. And so I know now to do that, because when she said crunchy, I thought like, oh yeah, I probably wouldn't like that. Like, I like soft things like soft cookies and all that stuff, but I didn't think it would be like super duper crunchy, as it was if you don't add any like softened thing besides water. So as I was doing this, it was kind of like not getting smooth. As you can see, it's just kind of sitting there. And when I tried to use the scribe, as you are going to see, it was just making a lot of weird bumps and dents. It's actually a very good thing that I didn't like pipe this all onto like every single cookie I had that I was going to use for the ice cream cone. As you can see, it's kind of tannish because this is too thick. Like, it was like, I already knew, like, right when I was doing it, I was like, no, this isn't working. I was like, okay. Like, I don't want this to take super long. But I did end up scraping 3 of them. And then 2 of them, I just kept them the same. So, yeah. So now I did spend some time making it a little bit less thick. And it is better. But this did end up still crunchy. Maybe it could be because of like over mixing and all that stuff, but as you can see, it just automatically blends in. I think if we can keep this consistency, make it a little bit thick with like maybe corn syrup, which I now have, it would be good. So because I had to dye the food coloring, I had to mix them into 3 different bowls. And when I saw that the tan one was more thick, I added water to the other ones. And so actually they all ended up kind of at different consistencies because of that. And so I was actually going to do lemons at first, I think. But then I decided, let's just do some pizzas because, I kind of already seen what people do with that. So that's what we're going for. So for this red, it wasn't as thick as the tan was. It was a little loose, but that's okay because that's what we need for here. But it was still thick where it ended up crunchy. And it's like not crunchy where it's weird. It just, I don't know, the taste of it is kind of weird. But the tan, again, that actually was still a little thin because it did end up rolling off the side just a little bit. Either maybe I just piped it weirdly, or I don't know. But as you can see on the little popsicle over there, there's some across the side. I probably just piped it a little weird. But I decided to use this also for the ice cream cones. I was going to do something like a pink one, but I was like, let's just keep this the same. When I was dyeing them, they were like a little lighter. And it does like saturate as you put it into the oven, because as you can see, it's not really as red here. Because I was doing it in like a shadowy part of my house or like my kitchen, I actually was able to see it like kind of how it would be saturated, so that actually helped a lot. And I also used a dehydrator, which that could also affect the crunchiness, and maybe I even overbaked some of these a little bit, and maybe that's why some of them like were softer than others, some of them were more crunchy. But I did add sprinkles to some of the ice cream cones. I think I left one unsprinkled, but yeah. Okay, so for this one, this white one is very loose because this is what I left in the bowl, and I guess I do remember adding a little bit less water, but the thing is this one did become more softer, which was on the pizza ones, and I baked the pizza ones and these ones like differently. So either I baked the pizza ones a little bit less, like dehydrated them a little bit less, or I don't know, because some of the white ones, they did end up a little crunchy as well, so it's probably this dehydrator thing. I'm gonna use the technique of the fan, and I'm gonna experiment with that to see how long it takes, and I might just use them. But the green, again, you can see the different consistencies because it's like really loose and it was falling off the sides. So I added faces to these red slash pink, but they're red red ones, and I was trying to do like some different ones besides just smiles, but the last one, it ended up in a smile. And as I was trying to add those like white cute dots on them, the first one, it kind of worked, but then the second eye, it wasn't working, and it just kept like falling off the side, and so it just smeared as I was trying to take it off. And I also added some eyebrows because, you know, eyebrows make things look pretty, and eyelashes to the girl type ones. I really like that last one I just did. It's really unique. My sister thought it was creepy. Okay, so now I'm adding some olives to these pizzas. I added some yellow sprinkles to some of them to make it look like cheese, but it didn't really look like it too much. And here are the pepperonis, as you can probably tell. With the cheese, I kind of did like some real pizza that we get because it doesn't always fully cover like all the way to the crust, but you know. And then I also have some peppers, green peppers. And then I just kept doing it until it kind of looks okay. All of this we've got to clean up. Here is the end. You can see all of them. These are all fully dry. I am going to try to make cookies again later this week for a neighborhood party we're having. You might see later in the next few videos I have. But I know to work on the royal icing, I'm going to try to make like the regular same sugar cookie recipe that I'm doing, but I'm going to try making it a little bit different. I'm going to try browning the butter. I'm going to see if that adds a little extra taste, because the cookie itself, it's, at least this time around, it was like, you know, a cookie. I would rather have it more flavorful because, you know, it's just a regular sugar cookie. You want it to be different from everybody else's. And I'm also going to see if I can get it a little bit softer. Maybe it was just this time it wasn't crunchy hard, but like I want it softer where it's still like nice and moist, but obviously still firm enough.